Alright, everybody. We're taking a little bit of a blast to the past right now, at least it is for me, because Nicole Arbour is not a name that I have heard in years. Not since, like, Pyrocynical was making, like, videos dunking on her, I think in literal CSGO surfing style videos back in the day. It's been a while since I've heard of this lady. But from what I remember, wasn't she, like, a provocateur, like, conservative comedian? There's not a lot of actually funny conservative comedians out there, but sometimes there are, but not usually. Most of them just think that, like, offending a group of minorities is funny in and of itself, and so that's all their humor. Yeah, like the dear fat people thing. She made that. Yeah. So this person's not exactly a good person. However, no people on the right tend to be good people. Well, there's good people on the right, but they tend not to be on the right for very long. Nicole Arbour has been on the right for pretty long, as far as I'm aware. And apparently she was collaborating with a fan of the show here, a friend of the show even, Candace Owens. For those of you guys that don't know, Candace Owens is one of the most, like, known to be a grifter right-wing mouthpieces that there is out there. Like, I don't know if anybody else is more blatant a grifter than her. So much so that, like, I don't even think the quartering is as close to being a grifter as her, because when you look at her history, you can see the contradiction and where she followed the money, but the quartering was always like he is now. He was always like this. He's at least been consistent. So, yeah, like, if you really want to, you can look at one of my videos on Candace Owens where I literally go down the entire laundry list of evidence proving that she is a grifter. And you may be wondering, like, how is there evidence to prove somebody is, like, lying about what they believe just to make money? Believe me. But fucking believe me, okay? There is some strong fucking evidence, okay? She's a pretty disgusting person. Anyway, apparently her and Nicole Arbour worked together, and Nicole Arbour recently did a tell-all 2 weeks ago, I think, that has like 200,000 views on it, and it's called The Truth About Candace Owens, The Arbor Effect. So, yeah, holy shit, let's get a look at this. I have not... I want to hear what this tell-all is all about. Give us the tea. Here, let me get some water. I don't have tea, but I have water. This'll do.
Nicole Arbour stormed off the Candace Owens show. Did I? I'm Nicole Arbour. Welcome to the Arbor Effect, and this is the truth about Candace Owens.
Whoa.
For those of you who don't know, I started posting about it about a week and a half ago on my Instagram and TikTok, that for the last 9 years, I've been a victim of stalking, harassment, and worse, by a group of men. They've stalked me, they've harassed me, they've engaged in financial abuse. I've had to move so many times I lost count. I've had to change my phone numbers. I've had to cancel shows. I've had to do so many things. And I think the hardest thing I've had to do...
Yep, that is pretty common for any woman on the internet who's controversial. Like, being a woman on the internet will get you a lot of shit and a lot of harassment, and potentially even a lot of this, but, like, if you're a woman on the internet and you're controversial, oh boy. Oh boy, it can be rough.
Was stay quiet, especially if you guys know my personality, for my own safety. What Candace Owens did to me during this, when I was at my most afraid, when I was terrified, when I was scared, when I was dealing with victim services, when I was hiding, when I had to have personal security with me, when I couldn't sleep through the night.
Jesus.
Because people were coming to stomp my teeth out.
What?
Because they thought I made
She
up
working
that I was
with
raped. No, it sounds far.
Jesus. Was Candace working with the mob?
Fetched. But it's not their first time doing this. One of their buddies actually murdered the girl they were doing this to. I don't remember what happened, maybe last year. Her name is Maddie. She had similar things happening to her, and then he eventually killed her and then killed himself. So while I was dealing with victim services, they specifically told...
For those who are just arriving, this is an expose made by Nicole Arbour about 2 weeks ago called The Truth About Candace Owens, The Arbor Effect. They worked together recently, and apparently it went very, very bad, so we're finding out.
Me not to talk about this stuff publicly because these guys are very scary. They're very scary guys who were actively like together executing this horror movie like plan against me. And I was told to continue on with my life. Don't say anything. Don't engage. We got to get you somewhere safe. And I went on the Candace Owens show after she was trying to cancel Chrissy Teigen. And I said, I don't believe in cancel culture. I made a video saying cancel culture is for pussies.
Oh, I don't know if they worked together then. I think maybe she just went on Candace Owens' show. Or maybe they did work together. We're going to find out. I don't know the story. All I know is, like, the very basic surface level, like, stuff.
And I still believe that. I do not believe in cancel culture, especially with what I have experienced. I had a man make up stories about me 9 years ago, or make up stories about being abused. He made them up and let people believe they were about me until I was canceled or getting canceled and losing money. And the
I'm pretty sure she's full of shit here, because the Dear Fat People thing was, like, universally panned by, like, all of YouTube, because it was, like, her trying to be really, like, volatile and, like, very controversial with her messaging there. Like, that was, I don't know. I don't know what she's referring to there, but I remember, like, all of YouTube dunking on her. No, Xanderhall, this is Rob Dyke's allegations? What's that? What's the lore behind that? Does anybody know? There's, like, so much background lore here. Why do YouTubers make videos like this and not give the background lore that they know? Like, how many times have I noticed there's new people in chat and you guys will hear me repeat something I said a while ago just so the new people in chat know what's going on? Or I make a video and I repeat something that I said in a previous video to make sure that people who are watching that video for the first time, like, are a little caught up and they don't have to go back and watch the previous video to know what the fuck is going on. And they're not just left feeling completely out of the loop. Matt Santoro dated her and she abused him. Rob Dyke spoke out about it. Oh. Okay, so she's mad that she got exposed for being an abuser. Okay, that's in line with a conservative content creator.
Ramifications of that have lasted 9 years of my life with not a single media outlet caring about the truth. So I went on Candace's show to debate her on cancel culture. She wanted to cancel Chrissy Teigen. She started the hashtag cancel Chrissy Teigen. After I had supported Candace against all of my friends were like, stay the fuck away from that girl. She's evil. She pushes horrible things. And I'm like, guys, come on, give her a shot. Maybe people are just talking poorly about her because she is.
If people warn you about someone like this, if everyone's telling you, hey, maybe don't be friends with this person. They've done this and that. And, it seems well backed up. Like there's evidence for these things. Then, yeah, maybe you should listen. Maybe your friends are trying to look out for you.
Different ideas. I didn't want to cancel anybody, so I gave Candace a shot. I supported her as a friend. I cheered her on.
Don't want to victim blame, but this is advice to people in chat. Like, seriously, you listen to your friends when they say somebody is displaying red flags. They are not blind to what you are.
She asked me to come on her show to help promote the first episode of her show. I did. She asked me for show ideas. I gave them. I believe I'm the person who told her about BLM being a scam. The company, not the people or the movement. Yeah, I believe that came from me. I told her about that, which turned into this documentary.
From my understanding, the BLM organization is not, like, it's not very squeaky clean, to say the least. But I definitely stand by the movement, obviously. But apparently she does as well. So I guess that's good.
That she did. I had supported her as a friend, but I can't support cancel culture, and I can't support doing the exact opposite that you say you stand for. And you should call people out. And that's what friendship is being able to say, hey, that's not right. That's not what we do here. That's not what we stand for. I was like, Candace, what are you doing? Let's debate this then. Everything doesn't have to be a giant blow up. It can actually just be a discussion. The night before, her and I have a chat. I let her scream it out. She was really upset that I would dare post anything that goes against her. She took it really personally and would.
Damn, she's a megalomaniac. Holy shit. Okay, apparently that's cool. This reminds me of like Homelander. Apparently, like behind the scenes, like you piss off Candace Owens, and it's like the scenes when Homelander doesn't have the cameras on him and he's in private with somebody he's pissed at. This brings back memories. What do you have for me, Hakan? Really fast. I'll take a look at it. Oh, the grade A under A. It's so sad how grade A under A fell off. Not that his YouTube channel fell off, because that's a good thing that happened in the end, but that, like, he fell off. His he came back, and, like, his video was like, here's why feminists and SJWs, right, are really bad, alright? I know it's 2019, but I'm going to be talking about the SJWs now. They call you racist if you don't care about politics, and what are you doing, right? Like, yeah, that's basically, yeah. Okay, there you go.
Wouldn't separate her from the topic. Let her vent and understood where she was coming from. Said, this industry can be tough. I understand how you may have taken it as I was coming at you, not at the topic. I'm paraphrasing, but something along those lines. So it's like, okay, yeah, we'll go have our debate. We'll debate the topic, and then we'll go grab dinner, and we're good to go. I confided in her.
Did you guys know that Candace Owens thinks the moon landing is fake? Yeah, have you guys not seen that? Hold on, I should show you guys this. For those that don't know, like, Candace Owens unironically thinks that the moon landing is fake, and this is just the best image ever. Now, for some lighthearted fun, what's that one conspiracy theory that no matter what anyone says you believe is true? Mine is that the moon landing in 1969 was completely faked. Just nothing about it makes sense, especially NASA accidentally erasing the original footage. I don't know what she's referring to there. The footage it exists. On July 20th, 1969, the United States landed on the moon. Links. According to NASA, there is no missing mission footage for Apollo 11 since all video was relayed to the Manned Spacecraft Center in Houston, where it were recorded. Well, I guess that makes sense, yeah. So yeah, she's just making shit up. Just like making up. Like, my favorite thing is just nothing about it makes sense, especially NASA accidentally erasing the original footage. They will just make shit up to back up the stuff they already believe, but it's so vague that they hope no one can call them out on it. Because how do you Google moon landing NASA accidentally erasing footage? What's this gonna, like, if you can't find anything on it, you'll just chalk it up to, oh, maybe she's smarter than me and she just knows, like, God. Yeah, so that's the level of grifter she is. She'll just make shit up on the spot.
What I was experiencing with these stalkers and how scary it was.
Holy shit.
I told her who they were.
Big dono. Thank you.
And I told her that I was genuinely afraid. The messages I was getting were so disturbing and frequent. They knew where I was. They could find me. I'd get messages saying that they knew what I was wearing, and they were right when they would message me. Fast forward to her show. She instantly did exactly what the right pretends to not like when the left does. She took a comedy video and sarcasm and read it as a script out of context on purpose to try and make me look like a really bad person. Yeah, generally, if you take somebody's jokes and you read them out of context and you read them as a fucking TED Talk, it's gonna sound really bad. But that was your intent, was to take it out of context.
That is true, but why? Like, what did you expect from Candace Owens? Like, if you were going on there to argue with her and you're a comedy figure, she's going to shit on you and take jokes out of context. That's usually like how these things go with people like that.
On purpose and prime your audience to think I'm some horrible person that wants bad things to happen to kids and teens and I'm on Chrissy Teigen's side when I was the one who brought up Chrissy Teigen to you, Candace, and you know that. Because I was on your podcast back when it was on PragerU, and I did a whole segment about fuck Chrissy Teigen, and you edited it out. You had never heard of Chrissy and doing all these things. I'm the one who brought it up to you. And then you tried to make it seem like I was on Chrissy Teigen's side. I support this bully. I support her trying to make girls kill themselves. She engaged the right and conservatives to act in the identical way to the left, and everything they say that they are against, she was engaging them to do the exact same thing to somebody else. Candace Owens.
Yeah, that's funny because it's exactly what the right has been doing to the left, getting them to attack fellow lefties in the same way the right does to those same lefties. Like death threats, spreading lies, most of those lies made by Nazis. Like, yeah, these people are pieces of shit and they exist on both sides of the political spectrum. Hey, Gretel.
This is the kind of person who thinks that whoever yells the loudest wins the argument. So I debated her, and frankly, I crushed her. What happened next was the most evil thing I've ever even heard of. And it has disturbed me so much that I just had to I had to tell myself that this couldn't have possibly been happening. There's no way this happened, but it did. I hadn't spoken publicly about this. I'd only posted one court document under the direction of the legal process. I was told, just post that one thing so people kind of know what's going on. I hadn't publicly spoken about this on purpose. This is hard for me to get through. When Candace Owens should have been a friend and helped protect me as a woman, as a friend, as anybody, as anything, as a coworker. She tried to out me on her show as a victim. She said the names of these men on her show, and she started backing them up and victim shaming me. And she wasn't just victim shaming me, she was mocking me on her show and said all of their names. And she knew specifically that I was told by victim services not to say these guys' names out loud. This is all they wanted. This is
really fucked up that Candace Owens did this. Like, regardless of how you feel about Nicole Arbour, this is an extremely dangerous and disrespectful thing to do to somebody, to know they have an active dangerous stalking situation, and then to, in a public conversation with them, acknowledge that stalker against the wishes of the victim or stalkers. Like, yeah, that's very fucked.
Wanted more fuel. They want more people to come at me. They want more people to come
Like,
after me.
Candace Owens isn't just a bad person because of her politics or because she's a grifter. She's just, like, fundamentally a bad person. Like, interpersonally speaking, in her relationships with other people, business, like, acquaintances and whatnot, she's just a piece of shit and a bad person. She's a narcissistic, selfish, cutthroat bitch. That is what everybody who's worked with her has pretty much come to the conclusion of. She's a massive grifter. She's in it for himself. Or in it for himself, in it for herself.
Knew I was fucking terrified. I out-debated her, so she was going to wreck my life. And she did everything she could from that moment to wreck my life. I was there for the purpose of her smearing me, to help these men. The footage of me on that show was given in real time to the 4 men that at that moment I had a restraining order against. Allegedly, it was Gina, Candace Owens' manager, standing backstage filming me and giving that footage to those men so they could post it online before the show even aired and smear me. They had a premeditated plan with Candace Owens' manager and Candace, allegedly, that no matter what was going to happen on that show, she was going to punish me for daring to debate her, for daring to have an opinion and to actually stand up for the values that conservatives pretend they have. I have to say that again so that we can understand that. 4 men that I was so scared of, I had to file restraining orders because their actions were resulting in threats, credible threats to my life. Super fans, like picture horror movie super fans that won't leave me alone. Candace Owens took it as a game. Let's fucking cancel Nicole Arbour. Let's get her. Let's get these dangerous, scary men who have a history of domestic violence I'm going to help them. It's so disturbing. You don't out a stalking victim or a domestic violence victim or any sort of victim on your show as a gotcha moment. Mentally and emotionally healthy people wouldn't do that. The only segment I was supposed to be there for was that topic. I was supposed to have a one-on-one debate with her, and then she switched it to me being on the panel because she's a coward. I thanked everybody at the show. I thanked the audience. I thanked everybody on the set. And I left when my segment was done. I had staff from Daily Wire chasing me out of the building as I was leaving, crying, women crying, apologizing to me profusely, saying they had nothing to do with that. I've heard a bunch of them have quit working with Candace since. The makeup artist from set that day.
Yeah, it really does seem like the Daily Wire is just such a shit organization. Like, not just like what they stand for, their dark money funding, their towing of fascism and all of that, but like working there and being and like doing anything with them, just it seems like they're just massive pieces of shit through and through. Which makes sense, right? An entire organization made by conservatives meant to push conservative propaganda. That's like, you know, fairly new and online for the most part, so they feel kind of separate from mainstream media, so they feel like the rules don't necessarily apply to them. I feel like they're massive assholes to their employees. I bet they have very fucked up work policies as well. Absolutely. Their workers, they probably have mostly unpaid interns editing, like, Ben Shapiro's videos. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they probably have an unpaid intern editing Ben Shapiro's videos for college volunteer hours or some shit. That absolutely sounds like that's what he'd be doing.
A message to apologize and let me know she had nothing to do with that. I reached out to Jeremy from Daily Wire and was basically like, why for a debate on this topic would you put me in harm's way? Why would you do that? He agreed that didn't need to be in the episode. And basically as a trade, I had to act like I stormed off the set so that they could get ratings. Roll that back in your head for a second.
Here you go. Just the outing of the Daily Wire and how they manufacture this shit. Like, they'll literally be like, okay then. How about this? We'll fake a scene where you get so triggered that you leave the set so it makes Candace Owens look good. Like, that is what these people do. All of Ben Shapiro's and Matt Walsh's and all these people's perceived prowess and skill and knowledge in these topics all comes from the ability to very finely edit what ends up being displayed to the audience. It's why these people only ever debate random college students. Steven Crowder, the same. He only ever debates random college students and strangers out in public, never announcing where he's going to be so that a skilled debater can try to ambush him. Because if they did, he'd get destroyed. All you'd have to do is bring up like three of the biggest medical organizations in America that support the idea that, one, sex and gender aren't the same thing, two, that gender identity is not the same as assigned sex, and that gender identity being like affirmed by changes in both gender presentation and sexual presentation with surgeries and hormones and whatnot in trans people, especially at a young age, is shown to have an inarguable improvement on their mental health, and that there is no other solution that has been shown to have any positive impact. Not even conversion therapy or like medication. There's nothing that's been shown other than transitioning that gives trans people a good lifestyle outlook and positive like health changes to their mind, and probably good physical health changes too, I'd imagine, right? Like if you're depressed all the time about your gender identity, then your physical health probably can't be that good, right? Like you probably have to feel like shit. So transitioning, if you're trans, probably makes you feel more physically better, right? I'd especially imagine if you're a trans dude, it does, because you're taking testosterone and you're probably working out and shit. I bet trans dudes feel great. Except for, I don't know, they probably have like growth spurts and like muscle aches and bone aches from that. I would imagine that would be common.
I'm a victim of stalking and worse. I don't have to get into all of it. Candace Owens tried to out me, and what I've been through on her show put me in danger. And to preserve my safety, I had to pretend and let them get this soundbite and let them roll with this big story so that Candace can get ratings off of it. And in exchange, they wouldn't put me in direct harm's way by posting that segment. I had to make that trade. I was a girl alone in a brand new city in America. I'm from Canada. I didn't have my family and friends with me. I had to make that trade. I made some vague comment along the lines of, if I try and make anything of this, then they're going to come for me. The full force of Daily Wire smearing a stalking victim because she didn't want to be outed for her own safety. Literally just like, let this stuff sink in. There were comments made that they're going to
like, isn't it crazy that within the right lately, there's been now 2 cases within like a month of the Daily Wire getting outed by large popular conservative figures as like just a massively shit organization. Like Steven Crowder outs them and their $50 million contract thing and how they were real assholes to him. And then they also they get outed by this lady. Daily Wire is a shitty fucking company. It is disgraceful that YouTube still supports them, runs their ads, like pushes their videos, hosts and monetizes them. Despite their constant breaking of TOS, they have special privileges, I guess.
delete different parts of it too because it didn't make Candace look good. They don't think a female audience would like what she did to me. She said out loud that she was going to cancel me. And that kind of goes against everything that Daily Wire says they stand for. And it's hard to believe that those people, I'm going to say those people over at Daily Wire, if you would like to exclude yourself from this, feel free to let me know. Mentally unwell people get obsessed with people. And it's scary. Dolly Parton currently holds the record for the most restraining orders. And I'm not going to pretend it only happens to people with followings or celebrities. There are so many stories of women or men being stalked, harassed, and then something bad, really bad happens to them. And I was right in that cusp, in that timeline of something might happen to me. And I was forced to negotiate my integrity, reality, and the truth with Daily Wire in exchange for my safety. If that doesn't sit well with you, good. I don't expect you to blindly believe me. And the good thing about consistently being a good person, regardless of smear campaigns and people who joined them over the last 9 years, is that there are good people who've been looking out for me. And one of those really good people gave me the footage.
I don't like that you have used your audience to engage in cancel culture. Can we call people out? Yes. Can we say that the behavior was disgusting? Yes. But I did not put on a MAGA hat, lose friends and family and brand deals and business and everything to stand for free speech and against cancel culture to have the same people do it. It does not work.
You're not realistic. I'm calling you out. It's like, how can I do it?
I don't believe in cancel culture. I think it's a bad thing.
You did 3 videos, you mentioned my name. So now you're saying,
well, I mentioned your name after. I said I think she's amazing and she's very intelligent and she's great and I'm not against Candace. Those were my words in the video. And you know this. I will not let you make this a Nicole versus Candace issue. I directed your audience to be as nasty as Chrissy.
I think the reason that you were quite frankly triggered is because there's an entire series on YouTube called Surviving Nicole Arbour where 4 men talk about how you have abused them. And the entire reason you were triggered is because I used the hashtag Surviving Chrissy Teigen and you called yourself in it.
Okay.
You called men B words.
Let me respond. This is why
and you're calling my followers vitriolic.
This is what I was.
No, it's not.
You know that those stories are not true.
You started the whole argument with me
before this, and now you're trying to be a bitch.
I have to break up these segments of the show in 30-second clips so I'm not flagged for copyright by the Daily Wire. Even though this footage wasn't aired, they still might hit me with that. So I want to go really quick over some common stalking behaviors that Stalking Prevention Awareness has posted on their website.
Okay.
They include unwanted contact, spreading rumors, following and spying, showing up places, leaving gifts, and waiting for the victim. During this episode, Candace Owens helped
Look, I wish my
stalkers
stalkers gave me
engage in 3 of these
gifts.
dangerous behaviors. Back to the clips.
These are people that I have restraining orders against that are weird fans. I actually can't talk about it because there's a legal battle.
There's always a legal battle.
Hey, if any of my stalkers just want to give me, like, weed, all right, that's fine. Yeah, like, I do think I spend too much money on weed. If you want to pay for all my weed and just yeah, that'd be fine. 1 weed incoming, thank you.
When somebody's calling you out on your own BS, you're sitting here pretending like they're vitriolic. They're not vitriolic. I think
That's not true. You're lying. You can't just go toe-to-toe with me right now.
What am I lying about specifically?
Okay, specifically, there are 4 men. Well, actually, I can't. You know for a damn fact. You guys are gonna have to edit that. We can't have this online.
So at this
Would hate watchers giving donations count? Sure, yeah.
point, I had already expressed to Candace that we can't have this online. I need to keep this private. She had already known from our private conversations I was scared of these men and actively seeking help from victim services. I lost track of how many times over the 9 years this has been going on that I told these men to leave me alone, stop contacting me, stop trying to contact me, and that they're scaring me.
I think what you just did is disgusting. You just took something personal and private I talked to you about.
It's not private. It's all over the internet. What are you talking about? Brian Upchurch, Matthew Santoro, Tommy X, who you brought to me on the phone call yesterday. It's on the internet. It's not private. I never told you about.
So I had already vocalized a boundary with Candace, let the show know we can't have this online. She knew that I was uncomfortable. I was visually uncomfortable, and she proceeded anyway to name them name by name, while her manager, I'm going to say allegedly, even though it's pretty obvious what happened, gave this footage in real time to my stalkers.
Let's make sure that in the post she doesn't say that we didn't give her a platform. Say,
Great, I will take the platform. Okay. Unfortunately, being a person in the spotlight, I've had some stalkers.
Did the people get named there? Was one of them Tommy in it? Because somebody in chat said Tommy in it. I didn't hear the names.
And right now, some of those stalkers, you just named them. You doing this right now has nothing to do with the point, but everything to do with you. And you're being mad at me because I disagree with you.
You're supposed to by this. I'm supposed to be out. Well, with friends like those who go up and make videos of people on the internet calling you a pussy, who needs leftist enemies?
Just breaking up the clips again, and want to point out to anyone listening on the pod that Candace is smiling while she's doing this.
Good. I know that you guys want the clip with me.
Well, yeah, she's a narcissist.
And, I appreciate you having me on. I would love for a real conversation sometime because I just think what just happened here is really gross, and it did need to happen. I think that we have the opportunity to be better human beings, better women, and set a better example, and I hope that we can do that.
And I think that you're saying that now, but you should have started thinking about that before you posted 3 videos about me.
None of them is,
but, you know,
none of them is all.
Goodbye.
So after the show, Jeremy apparently told her we're going to chop out that little segment. But they didn't just chop out that little segment. They chopped out a lot. They chopped out where I was clearly out debating Candace on the topic.
All of us women could be friends, but you refuse.
Where she was getting frustrated, where she was yelling on top of me constantly, where she said that she was going to cancel me. Allegedly, Candace Owens had been taping all of our phone conversations that we had privately as friends forever.
Is that legal? Are two-party consent state? Well, no, to be fair, they're in Republican states, and most Republican states don't have two-party consent laws. Two-party consent recording laws tend to be a thing in more blue states, from my understanding.
She alluded to airing one of our private conversations on her show. So just imagine that. Imagine you call someone that you think is a buddy, and they're taping the phone call, and then they're mad at you on their TV show, and they're going to air your private conversation where you talked about being scared of these guys that you have a restraining order against.
Conversations that we had privately. I'm saying
No, absolutely not.
Why not?
You can't post our private convo.
Okay, why not?
Who does that?
Because you're saying I'm lying. So it just sort of seems like, you know, first you're saying that I'm lying, and now you're saying that which phone call?
The one yesterday.
Nicole, we have permission
We do not.
to pause this clip in post, yes or no, and to insert things that you actually said.
Did you tape our private phone call?
We can move on to the next topic. We don't have permission to air it.
Now this irony is bananas. A day ago, I saw Candace Owens losing her shit at Steven Crowder taping a conversation between him and Jeremy from Daily Wire. Watch what Candace says about this topic.
Why the hell did you record him? What were you doing that for? Do you think you were going to go to court?
Fair point.
Or do you think you're going to go to court? Because that's the only reason you record someone. You'd be like, I don't trust my ex-fucking wife. Pardon my language, okay? I don't trust my ex-wife, so I'm going to record this phone call for safety, right? You record it because you're nervous that there's going to be a court hearing or the police are going to find out and you got to back up what you said, okay? Why are you recording your friend? If not because you think it's going to go to court. Oh, because you think it's going to go to public and you're doing it intentionally because you know you're about to start a war. People, please use your common sense.
I'm so
Oh, God. You just know that everything is a business transaction to her. She's got it all figured out. She's a ruthless businesswoman. An unironic, ruthless businesswoman. And, of course, a hypocrite, yes. But, you know, that's sort of... Oh, wow. Candace Owens is a hypocrite? No. I'm hearing this for the first time.
disappointed in you, and you claim to be versus who you are. Oh, if you get bullied by Candace Owens, you can get through it, everybody.
Candace, knowing that I was not allowed to comment or swing back, knowing that, went on a tirade for days, live streams and tweets and posts, just smearing my name. Everything from I'm not a conservative. Okay, so that's trying to get me away from my community within the conservative community.
She's clearly not a conservative.
She said that I falsely accused men.
I'm a big believer that if a woman falsely accuses you, you should file a report against them. Don't just let it be like, oh, well, phew, I survived that one. Like, she is now.
Oh, for the record, by the way, conservatives are now, like, if you go on Twitter or whatever and you look at, like, Andrew Tate, like, manosphere conservative Twitter where they talk about, like, false allegations, they're full on, like, advocating for the death penalty for false allegations. And to be clear, they consider Andrew Tate's allegations to be false. They want the death penalty for women who dare to come forward about being sexually abused. That is what they are advocating for.
Now drop the charges against Ryan Upchurch.
I'm going to take a second to clarify this because she just said charges. Now, I have no idea what Candace Owens is talking about. There have never been, that I know of, any charges filed against Ryan Upchurch, not by me. I have no idea what she's talking about. So there were no charges, therefore no charges were dropped. Do I wish there were charges against Ryan Upchurch? Do I think there may be in the future? Maybe, but there have never been any charges related to me and Ryan Upchurch ever.
Because she should drop the charges against Ryan Upchurch because she lied, right?
Now, I want everyone to imagine this hypothetical with me. Imagine you're the victim of stalking, harassment, violence, domestic violence, or worse, and a celebrity goes onto their platform and tells millions of people that you filed fake charges. Those charges were dropped and you lied. How would you feel?
This is very typical of narcissistic abuse. They form teams and they target their victim and they just pummel them.
That is true.
Like freaking bears until there's nothing left of that person or that person kills themselves. It was told to me that that was the goal.
That is true. That is essentially what, like, happened with the with my, like, abusive ex drama, right? Where it was like all the narcissistic vulture YouTubers that dislike me, left and right, tried to take it as an opportunity to dunk on me. They didn't anticipate, like, the evidence to be as strong as I ended up having. That's what I typically do, is I'll hold on to the evidence for a little bit, let all of the people who hate me look stupid, and then I drop the nuke, and then they look really bad. It's happened time and time again. Or time just ends up dropping the evidence. Like, it just happens to happen over time, and I end up being vindicated. It's happened many times. We do have to remember who we're watching. Yeah, we're not exactly getting our info from the most reliable of narrators here, but to be clear, I believe most of what she said here. It seems pretty well backed up. And it fits.
Was to make me kill myself. That I would have nobody to go back to. I would be a pariah in my industry. I was talking with the Daily Wire, Babylon Bee, and The Blaze. All three about doing a show with them, doing comedy stuff with them. All three suddenly were gone. In fact, Seth from Babylon Bee was such a coward. He deleted a photo of us together. He didn't bother to ask me what happened. He just deleted the photo. And this is how smear campaigns work. They take a lie and then they spread it.
People are trying to give us wallet for days, trying to give us wallet from her, and she wouldn't give it back.
All right, we're going to clarify this lie once and for all. So Ryan Upchurch was staying in my guest room, and he left a lot of shit in there. Like, I mean, a lot. Here's some of the stuff that he left in there. And it was everywhere. Like, it was a tornado. For those of you listening on the podcast, I'm showing a photo of some of the stuff that he left. I found in the guest room his wallet. It was just sitting there. I never go in the guest bathroom. And the second I found it, I messaged both him and his mom. Why his mom? Because he lived with her. So I was like, whoever's going to see this first, they must be worried. They don't have the wallet. There, I'm going to message, now they know. Now, thieves don't usually reach out to the people they stole from to tell them that they stole their stuff, do they? Probably not. They also probably don't reach out and ask for an address to put it in an Uber and send it to them, do they? I did that too, but his mom didn't give me an address. A couple hours later, a guy that worked on Ryan's team that I didn't really know, we had kind of said hi to each other a few times while traveling or working, but I didn't know the dude, asked to come meet up with me and pick up Ryan's wallet.
This seems like Nicole Arbour,
firing that guy.
like,
I still hadn't heard from Ryan
channel
to say
drama
okay.
she's dealt with.
So I wanted Ryan to either text
her. Like,
it turns out it was totally just a PR move for him. Every time he's releasing a song or an album, this Ryan Upchurch guy notoriously causes a massive controversy with people who have large followings. Last year alone, he did the same thing to Morgan Wallen. He had done it to Luke Combs. This was unfortunately my turn. Surprise, surprise, I got a Google alert on my name when this article came out. And the article details how Ryan Upchurch makes millions of dollars using clickbait as his marketing tool. So for those of you who don't know, clickbait is when you make up or sensationalize stories. This is his marketing plan.
That's not what clickbait is.
And he proudly promotes it. Feel free to read this article. It details other people he's done this to. By the way, he lost his wallet every few days.
People are trying to give us wallet for days, trying to give us wallet from her, and she wouldn't give it back.
There was one time where I just couldn't take it anymore, and I jumped into her live stream, and I'm like, put me on.
Yeah, well, there you go. Like, I hope that this gives you guys, if you're like a conservative, if you're like a Candace Owens fan, and you stumble across this video, and you're watching this, I hope that these instances of how she lies, manipulates, and acts like a complete piece of shit to gaslight people in interpersonal scenarios, I hope you can see how this is transitioning to her, or translating to her political commentary. She's no better a person and no more honest a person when it comes to her political takes and what she says on her platform.
Put me on your live, and she looked scared. Like, wait a minute, why is she on here? I thought she's not allowed to talk about this. What? She lied and said that I blocked her. She was never blocked. I had lawyers and victim services people messaging me frantically, being like, Nicole, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. We have to keep you safe.
Here's a post she made lying to her audience saying that I blocked her, and right after that, I was in her freaking live stream.
Yeah, anyways, Cole said, let her join, and this was a publicity stunt. What was a publicity stunt? My discount is Chrissy. That's the code, Chrissy, for tonight. How could you possibly say that we did this for publicity? Discount code, Chrissy. Just stop with
the right has discount codes. I don't even know what it's a discount code for. Who on the left has a discount code?
the lies. Go dailywire.com/subscribe. There are so many people left and right that are just fake.
She knew what she was doing, and she knew that I couldn't respond.
She went to the domestic violence clinic, and like, it's just not okay. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know Ryan Upchurch.
I just want to show you who these men are that Candace Owens came to rescue. Take a look.
I got mad. And look at my hand.
I saw you get mad.
I punched the table 3 times.
That's not cool.
You're right, it's not.
Fuck you. And if you see me somewhere, motherfucker, you better stay far as fuck away. And I'm not fucking playing. And you know that I ain't fucking playing. Telling everybody about God's motherfucking plan, wouldn't you?
The idea that you were scared for your life is like...
Jesus. That guy's, a Trump voter.
Come on, man.
Pulled out this knife and I stabbed the fuck out of the chair that I'm sitting in.
This is my chair. It died last night. I'm still sitting in it.
This is Nick Fuentes' future, by the way. You know that, right? You know this is exactly where Nick Fuentes is headed. I don't just mean because they look identical, but like this is like where this is his future, unless he stops now and becomes a leftist, femboy, catgirl, and accepts that he's gay.
I'm gonna pull up and I'm gonna smack the fuck out of you. And me and you both know I'll pull up and smack the fuck out of you.
Come over here so I can wipe your goddamn face on this motherfucking godfrey. Shut the fuck up.
Tommy Vexed.
This is Tommy Vexed. Allegedly, Candace and her manager are now friends with this guy. I made the mistake of associating with him for a few weeks. He told me he was being canceled because he's a Trump supporter. That seems to be like the platform that he goes on, is I'm being canceled because I'm conservative and a Trump supporter. It turns out that there are many. I want to clarify this because I talked about it on the panel and I got some of my facts mixed up. So I want to clarify this. There are many allegations of violence, domestic violence, and violence against women perpetrated by this man. I have heard.
Yeah, but don't you know, allegations aren't evidence, so you can't trust these women out here. They're fake. These women are just constantly trying to ruin men's lives. That's what these people think. You can't just say, oh, this guy's been accused of this. Like, people, they don't take it seriously. Like, a guy can literally currently be in jail for and under investigation for it, and they'll say, just allegations, dude, just allegations.
Between 7 and 9 restraining orders have been filed against him. A bunch of them have been filed successfully, and I know for a fact that he's currently in court again this year for another restraining order. There's even an abuse support group on Instagram called Surviving Tommy Vex. This man is terrifying.
Christ.
Over the last 2 years, he's made over 1,000, if not thousands, of posts about me when I hardly knew him for a few weeks. This one in particular was extra scary because he details how easy it would be to essentially hire a hitman. And although he doesn't say my name in it, there were comments below from fans saying, is this about Nicole Arbour? And he liked it. Send this to Ryan for Nicole Arbour, and he liked it.
Hold it down, fuck it, bash its head in.
Matthew Santoro, similar story, said that she aggressed him and then pretended she was the victim.
How do you know that he made it all up?
He flat out told me that it was a lie, that
I was hit in the face for the first time in my life.
people do things.
Apparently his ex claimed that he was lying, that he told her that he lied about this. Interesting.
Usually to for a promotion. Basically, he called it clickbait. I know the truth.
Watching the live streams back is so hard because it takes me right back to where I was when it happened. And I had friends calling, I had family calling, and all these people being like, what's happening? Why is she doing this to you? And I'm like, because she's a really bad person. Because there was no other answer. She knew what she was saying wasn't true. And it didn't matter.
It's too many people that don't know each other that are telling you the same thing. It's too many people that don't know each other that are telling you the same thing. It's too many people that don't know each other that are telling you the same thing.
Meanwhile, other victims of these men were hitting me up and being like, what is Candace doing? Why is she doing this to us? Because it's not just me. It's not just me. You know, she'll go on about Epstein and Weinstein and how did this all happen? Because of fucking people like you, Candace. because of people like you, because you had no idea what you
Damn.
were talking about, but you kept talking. There's multiple victims just like, okay, we're finally going to get these guys. And then Candace Owens backs them up.
First and foremost, I have never spoken to Ryan Upchurch in my life, so trust the science is the code Daily Wire.
When I needed my community the most, you separated me from everybody. It's wild because like Candace Owens will lose it. If a teenager tweets like, don't mess with, I don't know, the Arabs or something, she'll be like, I'm getting threatened. For those of you who might have missed it, one of my stalkers is Jared Taylor from Black Rifle Coffee Company. After Candace did this to me.
Oh, dude, that Black Rifle Coffee Company shit, I've known about it for a while, and its whole thing is like conservative coffee company, okay? It's their whole thing. The guy went on a podcast that I watched once, and he just came off as a massive douchebag. I think he might have just been a guy that worked, like, represented them, maybe not, like, the guy who runs it, but some guy who was associated with Black Rifle Coffee went on a podcast that I watched and just was just the biggest douche. No one liked him.
She got a sponsorship from Black Rifle Coffee Company. Coincidence?
I think not.
She's not just a mean girl. She's not just the ultimate pick-me, which she is. She's the opposite of everything that she pretends to be. And Daily Wire, how? How
Hey, she said it, not me.
can you have Jordan Peterson talking to everybody about being a good person, living a good life, while also having Candace try and destroy them? You're full of shit. I fully expect that after this, she's going to go on another smear campaign about me, that she's going to try and spread more lies, that she's going to try and use court documents to twist it and make it seem like something it's not, or that I've been defeated, or I was called a liar and whatever. The judge said I'm not credible and threw it all out. In actuality, the judge hadn't talked to me. I'm not going to get into all the details of the legal stuff right now, but what I can tell you is that at no point have I been beat in court. At no point has a judge said I owe any of these people money.
For the record, by the way, like, getting, like, justice for being stalked is borderline impossible. Particularly here in America. It is borderline impossible.
It's just lies that they make up. At no point has a judge thrown anything out. Different parts have been moved, dissolved, and paper moved around, all to get towards trial. And this is just legal games. Even if a judge called me a liar, which, by the way, this may come as a shock, but there are victims every day who don't get justice. The justice system is not even anywhere close to perfect. Candace Owens is exactly what conservatives say that they're not. And the truth is, without middle-aged white guys feeding her talking points, she crumbles. She doesn't.
Well, no, Candace Owens is exactly what most conservatives are. Or at least she is basically the most perfect example of a conservative.
Know how to attack or debate a topic without attacking the person. Someone has to tell her that yelling a personality doth not make. The digging up dirt thing, like, grow up. Grow up. She was dropping coupon codes while doing a smear campaign against me. In the middle of the smear, she would drop coupon codes. If that doesn't tell you what her intent was, I don't know what will.
Let's talk about anti-SLAPP suits really quick.
Generally used against people who've been victims of smear campaigns. So imagine this. Your abuser spreads everywhere that you beat up your kids. You hit your kids. Maybe they're trying to win the kids in the divorce. They spread that you hit your kids, you're a horrible person, you're making porn on the side. Did you not know you're making porn? You're making porn now. They said it on the internet, they're doing it. So to combat this form of narcissistic abuse, which is what smear campaigns are, your lawyer files a court injunction and a defamation suit. The purpose of doing that is to try and slow down the abusers, because if those rumors get out about you, there's no telling how much it's going to damage your business, your reputation, your children, your family, your mental health, and whatever else it might damage. As we know, when things get online, it's really difficult to get them down. Now, what I've observed is bad guys go in and file what's known as an
anti-SLAPP suit.
They claim it is their First Amendment right to say whatever the heck they want, even if it's lies, even if it's damaging you, even if it's putting you in harm's way. See, and I don't really think the founding fathers fought to make America free so that you could destroy the lives of people who challenge you. You psycho. Candace Owens, the racist man's MLK. Remember, the bad guy at any point could stop harassing you, leave you alone, stop spreading that you're beating up your kids.
Shit.
But they don't want to. They want to hurt you.
An anti-SLAPP suit is meant to defend your First Amendment right to free speech.
However, in the last few years, it has been weaponized by abusive people to not only silence, but financially abuse their victims. In my personal belief, this is exactly what Candace Owens did to Kim Klacik. Only a couple.
I've heard of SLAPP suits, but they're anti-SLAPP suits. SLAPP suits are also most used by conservatives. Oh yeah, who remembers when John Oliver called out like the head of like some coal company, and the coal company tried to hit his show with like 50 SLAPP suits, and he showed all of them on live air and like made fun of them again, and it was just like, keep throwing the illegal lawsuits at us just for telling you the truth. Yeah, Bob Murray. Keep throwing the illegal lawsuits at us just for telling the truth about shit you've done and don't want to be out there. We're just gonna keep doing it, and you're gonna keep looking bad for every lawsuit that you throw our way that we show everybody. Yeah, it was pretty great. It was pretty great.
Weeks after what Candace did to me, she did it to another woman, a conservative woman who'd run for office. Candace made wild claims against this woman, like really
Oh yeah, what she said about Kimberly Klatchik was really disgusting, but Kimberly Klatchik is also a piece of shit.
Damaging. There was claims in there that revolved around escorts and sex work and her being a madame and all sorts of really hurtful things. And Kim did exactly what we're told to do. You file that defamation suit. And Candace did the bad guy move. Now, this is really important. A lot of really big conservatives knew what Candace did to me, and they begged me. When I say beg, I mean begged me not to tell the truth, not to make a video about Candace, not to talk about it publicly,
She's
not
powerful.
to go to Megyn Kelly and talk about it. They begged me. They're like, we
Remember, guys, these are the people who hate me too. These are the people who hate me too, who need it the most, okay?
need her for the movement. We need her. She's worth so much money to us. We pumped so much money into her. We need Candace. You can't go after Candace. Please don't go after Candace. And then I saw Candace go after Kim Klacik, a mom who's just trying to make Baltimore better. She did the same thing to her. And because Candace has apparently an unlimited legal budget to bully people online, that meant Kim suddenly had to pay probably
Kimberly Klatchik wants to defeat the woke or whatever. She's not. She's cringe.
$100,000 or $200,000 in legal fees to fight that. It's a frivolous lawsuit usually used to drain the bank account of your victim. It literally gives gasoline to the bullies. And that's what Candace did. And it was costing her so much money to fight this frivolous lawsuit that Candace put on the side that they eventually reached a settlement where Kim would just pay her legal fees and they would walk away, call it a day. Candace did not defeat Kim, but she posted as if she did. This woman is just a menace. She's just fucking evil. I have so much to say, but I know I gotta end this somewhere. I want you guys to know that this experience rocked my faith in humanity. Like genuinely. I can't ignore that there's a common denominator in all of these people that have done horrible things to me. They're all conservatives, and they're, as much as I don't want to
Interesting.
admit it, there seems to be a running theme of being disgusting to women, of not caring about the truth. When you come with the same venom for child exploitation and human trafficking.
Being disgusting to women and not caring about the truth? Conservatives? No. No shot, bro. No way. No. Never. No way. Absolutely not.
Trafficking as you do Taylor Swift's new album, you probably are just an angry person.
Nice.
Okay.
All of this to say,
okay.
I would like to formally announce my retirement from all of this bullshit. I don't want to live a life that's dictated on me hating people based on who they vote for or who they love or what they look like. Truth is, I have no idea what conservatives stand for anymore. We're Christians, but we don't act Christ-like. Cardi B twerking is wrong and disgusting. But Andrew Tate running a digital brothel is okay because he says our talking points. And you know what? I love Michelle Obama. I think she's awesome. I think Michelle Obama is the shit. And I like Oprah.
Okay, this woman is going to be a wine-drinking, like, Nancy Pelosi liberal in 5 years. The new shoe-on head, she's either going to go full shoe-on head or she's going to go full, like, Nancy Pelosi wine-drinking, like, Yas Queen liberal.
And I like people. I genuinely like people. And I had to really do some soul searching and be like, wow, where have I been at Candace Owens? Have I made mistakes along the way? Yeah, I have. In fact, I didn't even know that some people are fat. Get this! Throw back to the first big video. I didn't know that some people gain weight after severe emotional trauma to almost build padding. I didn't know that.
So, to be clear, by the way, the vast majority of these online figures, like the ones that aren't actively lying and maliciously trying to push a narrative for profit, most of them have literally been lied to. They exist in they literally don't have the puzzle pieces put together to form the full picture of reality. So they've been told the full picture is something else, and they don't go looking for the puzzle pieces. They just believe the people who've told them what the full picture is. That's what these people... She just found out. Like, she probably doesn't even know that there are genetic disorders that can make it nearly impossible to lose weight in the same way that anybody else can. Like, she probably doesn't know that for some people, it is literally 3 to 5 to 10 times harder to lose weight than it could be for somebody else. She probably hasn't even thought about the fact that people with physical disabilities, like, probably have a higher chance of gaining weight and having pretty much no outlet to lose it. These are not things that they even have probably even had brought up to them. Conservative demagoguery and the conservative worldview as a whole does not hold up well to scrutiny.
And I get why some people were especially upset at that video now. I only learned that in the last year, but you can't get mad at me for not knowing what I didn't know. Please teach me. But if I would have known that, I definitely would have angled that a bit differently. So I don't want to be part of this team that is full of venom and hate and has fun smearing people every day, and every day is another fight, and who can we meh. Like the word grifter is thrown around, but I don't even think you guys know the definition of it. By definition, grifter is these people like this that are daily picking fights with people just for the sake of fighting, just to get one up, just to feed their ego a little hit of dopamine so they can get through to the next day and go narcissistic abuse on somebody else.
These fucking conservative content creators, these like how many times have you seen, like, I'm just like covering something that's going on, like covering some issue that some marginalized group in America is facing, and then all of a sudden I'm getting like canceled by lefties on Twitter or attacked by conservatives on Twitter. That's what these people do. The best way to tell who's like, you know, the not the asshole is who's minding their business generally.
I'm not interested. Candace tried to insult me by saying, "You're not one of us." And this experience
She's
has taught me
waking
to
up
write.
from the
In
Matrix.
words of Blink 182, I don't ever want to be you. And for those of you who instantly knew that's not Blink 182, you are my people. So instead, in the words of my
I'm a Zoomer. I don't even know what that was supposed to be. That was a good video. That was a good video. I'm excited to see what Nicole Arbour's going to do. If she's gonna like actually go full left wing or whatever. Let's see what's going on on the channel since this happened. What's she done since then? How to spot a narcissist? Red flags? Interesting. Her music does really well. That was very interesting. We pretty much had confirmed what we already knew. Candace Owens is a narcissistic grifter who's willing to lie and manipulate whatever she has to do in order to get on top. Ruthless businesswoman.